Good evening everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. My name is Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes and I'm here this evening 6:30 to give you a demonstration on how to pipe some icing borders using whipping it up. Let me just put my comments on so I can see what's going on. I forgot to press the magic button. There we go. So tonight I'm going to show you how to make whipping it up as a royal icing, and I'm going to show you how I've made a border. So I've made a border up, and I'm going to show you how to pipe it onto the cake. Well, I'm going to do my very best to show you how to pipe it onto a cake. It's going to be very little. And one of the things I've discovered with doing a royal icing course is that I've literally been sat with my arms around the camera so you get the best possible view. So I will try my very best to do this live, but we will have to just see how it goes and make it up as we go along. I've got Kelly here on comments here tonight.
Hi!
So we're going to get cracking any minute now, and as I say, I'm going to show you how to make royal icing first. I'm going to talk to you about whipping it up and exactly what I have discovered with it in terms of how it behaves with royal icing, to give you a bit more information on that as well. For some of you who don't know me, I teach online. I have a lot of online courses, mainly cake painting, but I am doing royal icing, and royal icing is starting on the 3rd of February online. So if you would like to join me, if you're feeling inspired by the royal icing demonstration tonight, then you're very welcome to join the course, which is starting next week. However, you can join it at any point. You don't have to start on the 3rd of February. You can start whenever you like. It's entirely up to you. I really don't mind, but we do have an online royal icing class starting, and that is when it's going. So the information will be on my website, not Sugar and Crumbs, which is along the bottom there, so traceyscakes.co.uk. and if you've got any questions about royal icing, then do please let me know. I love it. I think I hide it quite well. I absolutely love it. It's one of my most favourite things in cake, is to be piping in royal icing. Cake painting, royal icing. What's the other thing I'm always going on about? You're looking at me, chocolate. Yeah. Kelly, wakey.
I'm on as
she's trying to find the live stream.
No, I'm on it, but I'm commenting as Sugar and Crumbs.
Are you? Oh, okay. I don't quite know what you've done there. Oh, it's because you've been made admin.
I'm
That's what's
admin
happened.
now. I've gone up in the world, guys.
Okay, so if you see anything coming up from Sugar and Crumbs, it's Kelly. I don't quite know how you can get around that. I don't think you can. We're going to have some fun anyway this evening. You know what it's like. We're just going to get through it, and that's the end of it. So we're going to show you tonight to say how to do whipping it up. We'll get that done in a second. Now, I've iced a dummy in advance, a small pink cake for this. So I have made, I'm looking at it now. I didn't actually take any measurements of how big this cake is. Let me find out. So it's a 5" by 4" cake, pink. So that I can, congratulations Kelly.
I'm signing off everything with Kelly, just so everyone knows it's me. Thank you.
Yeah, Kelly will put up her name, Kelly, if she's commenting. I'm so sorry for the confusion. We've had a few issues with Facebook recently. It's become my favourite subject. So yes, Kelly is commenting as Sugar and Crumbs. It's so, whoa, Kelly, you've been promoted. Look at all that, honestly. So yeah, let's go back to what I was talking about. So yes, I do teach online. I do have a royal icing course coming up. So if you would like to join the royal icing course, then do please go to the website traceyscakes.co.uk, and I'll put that up later on. I know loads of you have signed up. I know I keep waving these cakes in front of you all and going, look what you're going to do. And everyone's been going, oh, horror. But you're going to be fine. You're going to love it. It's going to be absolutely great. Right, so, okay, let's get started. So we're going to make some whipping it up. Now, what did I pick up? This one. So whipping it up is a product from Sugar and Crumbs. So you will need to buy it directly from Sugar and Crumbs if you want any of this. And it's icing sugar containing egg white. So there's an egg white powder in there already. I have to think about that for a minute. Carol uses it. She's done so many demonstrations on these macarons and Swiss meringue buttercream, pavlovas, all of those things. And what else she got on here? Shortbread, mousse. Gosh, there's loads, isn't there? So she's been using this for that, and I've taken over for the royal icing side and done a few tests and bits and pieces as well, so we can see how it works with that. So what I found with whipping it up is the best thing you can do with this is make up nice small quantities and then use it fresh. That's what I've been finding. It gets the best results from whipping it up. So when you've got your pack here, which is 500 gram pack, I'm going to do half a pack tonight, but you could even make up less than that. So a whole pack of this, 500 grams. you need about 70 grams of water. So just tap water. You don't need to add anything else because the egg is already in here. So that's what you would need. Now I'm going to do half a pack. So I'm doing 250 grams. And so I'm going to do 35 grams of water, and I've actually managed to remember to weigh it out properly this week, because last week I didn't and it all went wrong. Is it vegan?
It contains egg.
It's got egg in it, so definitely not. No. It contains egg white, so it's suitable for vegetarians, but it's not suitable for vegans. Gluten-free, dairy-free, lactose-free, soya-free, alcohol-free. But I'm sure if you have any technical questions in it for whipping it up, you can always contact Sugar and Crumbs, and they're more than happy to help you with some questions with this. Okay, so we're using a white chocolate and raspberry flavour, so there's lots of different flavours in this as well. I've already weighed out half a bag, so I've got 250 grams weighed up in advance properly this time, not like last week where I got it all wrong. And well, I got the icing sugar right, it was the water where it went totally wrong. It just wasn't happening. So let's turn the camera so we can see what's going on. There we go. So that's the icing sugar there, and I've got my 35 grams of water here, and I'm going to just use my electric whisk. I think you can see it better, so that's why I am doing this. So let's pour some of the water in, almost all the water, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it round a little bit, just so my poor camera doesn't end up completely covered in icing sugar. Get it started. And you don't need to sieve this icing sugar. It seems to be goes through the nozzles really well. If anyone's using something like Tate & Lyle icing sugar, you'll need to sieve that, because my goodness me, that's can be quite lumpy, although it's got better recently. So right, let's switch this on. Stand back, hold on. Not too bad. There we go, we're off and running. I think Carol's on.
No, Carol is on.
Oh, Carol is on. Oh, good. Well, Carol, we're very sorry. We're using the Sugar and Crumbs at the moment because Kelly's admin. We've been in such a muddle. Right. Let me just stop this a second. Yes, Carol, we're using it. We didn't until Kelly started commenting that she was coming up as Sugar and Crumbs, so we will sort that out. Okay, so when you first start mixing, whipping it up, it is quite yellow in terms of colour. So what you're going to need to do is make sure you beat it. And I'm just going to add in the rest of this water. So remember, this is half, so this is 35 grams. And then I'm going to carry on whisking it. So this is going to go on, if you can see it now, it's mixed, but it's not fully mixed. You've got to really beat this to get the egg white that's in it to work. So I'm going to switch this on now for a couple of minutes. We have a job to hear me, but we're going to go for it. So you can see it starting to change, hopefully, just about, there you go. And it starts to change colour. I'll tip it a little bit so you can see it. There we go, how about that? So it starts to get a bit whiter. So persist with this, don't just stop, just keep going with it. You're going to know when it's done because it's going to be white and you'll have beaten it for enough length of time. Don't just leave it. Alright, so we're going to go for this for about 3 minutes or so. So you can see it starting to change. Serena's, just seen Serena's comment come up. She's been painting the lovebirds. We've had a live today on painting lovebirds. Right, we're nearly there. Let's have another look at it so you can see.
Can you use a mixer instead of a hand mixer?
Oh yeah, that's fine. It's just I was doing this literally because so you can see it better, and I'm not making up such a big quantity. If I was making up a much bigger quantity, then I potentially, oh well, I have done get my food mixer out, but because I'm only making up a half batch, then it's easier on camera as well for you to be able to see it than it is for me to try and put the lid down on the food mixer. I know you're still seeing the top of my lovely Kenwood, but it is a little bit easier. Now when I've finished, and it's just about there, I'm going to just do it a little bit more, but when I do this, can you see, I'm going to lift that up a bit, it becomes, it's got that sort of snow scene, I call it snow scene, peaking about it. So that's what you're looking for with royal icing when you make it up. Will it stand? Will it hold its shape? So put your beaters in and pull it out, and if it's standing and holding, then it is ready. So I'm just going to give it one more whiz round, just to make sure. I did, I might put it back in the drawer. Okay, I'll find it in the drawer. Right, we're happy with that. I'm just going to find my spatula because I think I've been tidying up enthusiastically today. And I'll put it somewhere. There we go. I have found it. Lovely. Right, so with royal icing, there's no way that you can leave it like this. It will dry out. So what you need to do is put it away as quickly as you can. That's what I was looking for. So I've got it, Cal. We did some washing up before we came on, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So now I tend to use one of these. Don't laugh. It's a lasagna dish and it's brilliant. And I'll tell you why, because it's got a nice plastic lid and I store all my royal icing in here. Now you don't have to do that. But I just find it's the best way. A couple of people have said to me today about using plastic bowls with lids on. I think it'll work, but you need to put a bit of cling film in there as well across the top of the royal icing to stop it crusting. For some reason I find this the most successful way, and I've had the same lasagna dishes. I go out and buy them. They come from John Lewis. I've had them for years, and that's what I've always used. So I'm just going to take this out now, pop it in there. So as soon as you've made your royal icing, you do need to take it out of the container, and everything you've used has to go in the sink immediately because it sets really hard quite quickly. I'm going to pass this over to Kelly. There you go, Kel.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then what I'm going to do then is I've just got a plastic lid that just sits over the top of it like that. I'll just take the air out of it like that, and that's how I'm going to store it. So royal icing stays at room temperature, and it stays at room temperature. I find with most royal icing, you can keep this for up to 2 weeks. Now, what I've found with whipping it up is that it's better made fresh. The following day, as with most of them, but mainly with whipping it up, when you open it the following day, you'll need to just get an electric whisk out again and just whisk it back up again if you want to use it, because it kind of just, I'd say collapse, but it collapses in a good way, not in a bad way. It's collapsed. So when you look at it, it will look different from what it looks now. So at the moment, it looks very fluffy and it looks lovely and ready to pipe. The following day, if you open up the container and you look at it and it's gone sort of flatter and it's not holding its shape, you just need to get your electric whisk out and just go round it again. Whatever you do, don't put it in the fridge, okay? So if you put it in the fridge, it will actually crystallise, and that's no good to you at all. So you do need to keep it out at room temperature. But the best royal icing is the freshest royal icing across the board. It doesn't matter how you make it up, whether you're using Merry White or you're using albumin powder or you're using whipping it up. The best to pipe with is the freshest. So that's a top tip recommendation. So don't make too much up in one go. Just, you can even quarter the recipe for the whipping it up. You could even go down to, what are we on, 500, half of 250, 125 and 17 grams approximately of water. So just make up a little, use it, then it's beautiful and lovely, goes through the nozzles like a dream, and then you don't have any problems. So that's what I personally would recommend with royal icing. Right, okay, let's talk about patterns and what I've done for tonight. So let's get my pattern out so you can have a little look. This is a Tracey Mann special. I have designed this. I sat in the chair last night, Kelly, didn't I, doing this?
Yeah.
With my ruler and all these other bits and pieces. So let's have a little look at what I have done, and then hopefully you might put pen to paper and have a go yourself. So I have got this little drawing here, and actually I need to go and pick up the other template from the other side of the room. Let me just leave that there for a minute. Now what I've done is I've just used some lined paper, and I've taken a piece of parchment paper which I've wrapped all the way around my cake, and I have folded it into 4 sections, which gave me the size of section that I wanted. And then I've cut out a piece of lined paper, and then I've drawn a template onto here of what I think will work. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine on my piping, and that's what I've come up with. So I've designed this myself completely, just by kind of using the lines. The lined paper was actually really good because it stopped me going too far down. It was actually a really good measurement to be able to do it. And then what I did once I'd done that is I then traced it onto this greaseproof paper, and then I repeated the pattern 4 times. So you can see the pattern going across there 4 times, which goes exactly around the cake. I then turned it over, and I then put pencil onto the back of it, and then I turned it back again, and then I've put it around my cake, and I've gone back over it again with pencil, and I've transferred the image onto the cake. Now what I would say, if you don't like the pencil method, it's not for everybody, but if you don't like it, you can scribe this on. Because I'm live and you need to see it on camera as best as I possibly can, I have actually done it in pencil. Pencil is okay, it's graphite, so that you won't have any problems, and it's absolutely minimal amounts of pencil, so you'll be fine. But if you don't like the idea of pencil, then get hold of a scriber. I did have one earlier, didn't I, Kelly? Oh, there it is. Let's get the scriber. So get yourself a scriber, one of these, and then you can scratch it on. As long as the sugar paste is nice and hard, so in other words you set it the day before, then you can transfer any of these images on. It's a little bit harder when the sugar paste is still soft. I find the pencil doesn't come out at all well. You can mark it, but it doesn't come out as well. So that's the pattern that I've made, and I've got some mad idea that I'm going to be able to pipe this onto the cake live, so we'll see how this goes. But let's just go through what we're going to do in terms of piping bags. So I need to rescue that sheet, Kelly, from the other side of the room in a second. So I'll have to get it because you'll have to come past me. I've got my adapter stuck in the bag as well. Okay, minor technical hitch coming up. Oh no, there we go. Right, so let's show you how to put an adapter into a piping bag. So piping bags, I don't like greaseproof piping bags at all. I can't stand them. I have a very bad history with greaseproof piping bags. So I always use either the fabric ones, which you keep going and going and going. I also use disposable ones, which I use again and again and again until they finish as well. So a bit of both is fine. I don't like greaseproof because you have to do the triangle thing and turn it all around, and then they all fall apart. Nightmare. Right, so with a nozzle, there we go. All we're going to do is just pop that into the bag as far as you can, like so, and then we're going to cut it. So I find it's, for my beginners, I always say to them, put that right into the bag like this. Let me show you on the other camera, it's probably a little bit easier. So you pop it right in as far as you can, and then I usually take my scissors. Now if you look closely at here, there's a little sort of bit on the adapter where it sort of goes down like that. I just take my scissors and I usually just get them to sort of score it like that. Okay, and then push it back, and then where I've scored it, I just cut it and then push it back again. Because the thing with beginners, what they tend to do is go chop, and then the whole adapter goes straight through because they've gone too far. And so that's what we do to get that in, and then we can use our nozzles on there. So if I put an adapter in, I can actually change them in between my design, which is what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to use 2 or 3 different nozzles. Now, what have I got here? So we're using Pme nozzles. I've got Pme 1. I've picked up the wrong one, Kelly. 1.5 I should have here. I might get you to leap over there and get one for me in a second. 1.5 nozzle. I've got a little pop nozzles, don't laugh. But I've got a feeling the 1.5. Because I said to you earlier, I wonder where that 1.5 nozzle is. She might be a big crash in a minute as Kelly makes her way across the room to get me a 1.5.
Oh, trip on the light.
Yeah, please don't trip on the lights. Okay.
Do you want one?
Yes, please. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Even better. Yeah. I will have one, Kelly, from you. So Pme Nozzles, brilliant brand of nozzles. They've been around for a very long time, as long as I can remember. Definitely not got 1.5, have I? No. It's the main nozzle. It's the one I need. Let me sit down for a second. So I'm sure lots of you are familiar with Wilton. Wilton nozzles. There we go. So that is nozzle number 1. That's nozzle number 2. Now these are writing nozzles. Okay, so they're very, very fine. Now someone keeps saying to me at the moment, with Wilton particularly, Wilton nozzles are good for buttercream, but what we find with buttercream is that the Wilton nozzles tend to be bigger. So for example, a Wilton 2, if you put a Wilton 2 next to a Pme 2, the Wilton 2 will be bigger. So just bear that in mind. And then there's a 1.5 there as well. So that's in between. So size wise, you're probably gonna have a job to see this. I'm gonna pick this up so you can have a look. Let's go across that way a little bit. There we go. So 1, 1.5 and 2. Let me tip it a little bit so you can see them. So they are little writing nozzles. That's what we're going to use tonight. Lovely standard nozzles. Pop them on the end of the piping bag, and we're going to start with nozzle 2. I'm going to pop that on there and take my adapter and just screw that onto the edge like so. Palette knife, what did I do with that? And then we're going to start putting our icing in. So palette knife. Okay, let's move that out the way. So we're just going to take some of the icing out. Don't need very much. Don't overfill your bags. Oh, it makes it so much harder when you overfill your bags. You really don't need very much at all. Might put a tiny bit more in. But I bet you that's about all I use tonight just to do this fabulous design. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in like that. Just squeeze the bag till I get to the end. And then you need to hold on tight to this so that you don't end up wearing it, because if you let go of it or you squeeze in the wrong place, then this happens, that moves up the bag and then you'll be wearing it. So you do need to make sure that you've got it like that. Now these adapters, they are Pme and they fit Wilton and Pme. If you go away from those nozzles, if you use anything else, you'll find that some of the adapters are different. Someone's just mentioned adapters. Yeah. You will find, so if you've bought any other brand, you might have some difficulties, but Pme adapters, they fit Pme and Wilton nozzles. They don't fit the big 1Ms, so these ones here, you need a different adapter for that. Look at the difference between that. That's not going to fit on there and stay on there. These are the standard nozzles that we use for piping. Right. Now I just need to run to the other side of the room so you can have a look at the cake while I'm doing that. So that's the cake that we're going to tackle tonight. So you see I've already put the pattern on. Right, I'm going to rescue this thing from over here. Love it. I'm back again, Kelly. So I've done a pink, whoop, there we go. So I've done a pink cake tonight. Let me sit down. Right, there we go. I'm hoping you can see this okay. We might just drop the camera down a tiny bit more. Let's go down a little bit more so you can see it. So I've transferred the image onto there, and then what we're going to do now is have a go at piping it. So let's see what we can see. Now, in theory, it depends how my nozzle gets in. You might be able to see it more on the side than on the front. When I film my Royal Icing course, I have actually filmed quite a lot on the side, because actually it's really lovely to be able to see the angle of the nozzle. It's just as important as being able to see what's going on at the front as well. So when you're doing piping, also make sure that you have got a scriber and a paintbrush around as well, just in case you need any additional help if you need to do anything else. Hopefully you can see everything all right. Kelly, does that look all right on camera?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is another Bridgerton special.
I just have a question.
Oh, question time.
I was wondering about sizes of couplers. How do you know which ones to order?
Well, they're adapters.
Okay.
So a coupler is what the Wilton lot call adapters. So it's like fondant and sugar paste. It's couplers.
Adapters.
Yeah, the same thing basically. So we're going to start with nozzle number 2. and we're going to have a go at piping this pattern across there. So we'll see it several times, so you will get several different views of this. I've got to spend my first minute or two working out how to do this, because I have done it once, but that was earlier today, so I've probably forgotten by now. So let's start over here. So what we're going to do what would be the equivalent of a little tiny shell. So we're going to squeeze and pull towards, squeeze, pull towards, squeeze, pull towards, until we get to there. Let me just check where I am on this. Where's my picture? I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, right, now we're going to put a little flower in here. Now remember what we did a few weeks ago. So we would, this will all make sense and I start filling it in. We did little flowers that were on flower nails. So we're actually now going to do this straight onto the cake itself. So we don't need for this to fall off. I'm just trying to stop my turntable spinning. It's not helping. Okay, so little flower coming up. So we're going to do the same as this. We're going to squeeze and pull down, off to the left, off to the right, turn it round this way. This is where I'm struggling with the turntable a little bit because it's insisting upon moving. So I'm going to go back and do that one again. I want to take it off turntable. It's driving me crazy. Come on. This one moves more than my other one does. Okay. Okay, let's do that again. So squeeze, pull through, and squeeze and pull through. So there we go. We've got a little flower now.
I'm just wondering, when you put the design on the cake, did you pin?
Yes, I did. I put my pins in. I pinned the template on. Make sure your pins are clean before you do that. And then I'm going to put my little silver ball in there as well. Do I want a silver ball in there, Kelly?
Yeah.
I'm having a silver ball in there.
I've learned from everyone that there's no such thing. No such thing.
No such thing as
There's
too much bling.
bling.
Right, okay, so that's the starting point with this. Once we've done this a few times, we will be speeding along. So again, we're going to go, we're doing like these little mini shells going along here to that point there. Now we're going to do another flower just here. So what I'm going to do is do that now, and then I'll be able to join that up. So we're going to go squeeze. I've got to check out my pattern because I want to make sure I set it up right. If I set it up right, it will all go right. If I set the first one up wrong, we'll be in trouble. Okay, and squeeze and stop squeezing. There we go. Add some bling. Okay, so let's pop that one in there. Okay, right, where do we get to? We're going there. Okay, so we're going back that way. So we want the larger size of the shell going out. So I've got to turn it round a bit, I'm afraid. I'm just going to have to do this bit. So you can see I'm leaving the lines. I'll be filling those in a minute and it will make a little bit more sense then. So we've gone round there. Now we're coming over the top here. So we squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Okay, same on the other side. I say this will make more sense when we join it up in a second. And then here we're going to do another flower. There we go, like so. This will all make sense in a minute, she says, hopefully. Right, we're going to do another flower in the middle here, or just we're going to do one off to this side and one off to this side. So we line it up here again. So squeeze and pull.
Exactly.
What?
Someone Beaded just comments. Squeeze and pull.
Squeeze and pull. That's a Carol special, I think, isn't it? Squeeze and pull. I think that's what they say on buttercream, isn't it? Most of my new words for you to learn is mainly connect, and drag.
You started doing that when she pipes at home, or when we were doing trial Royal Icing designs for last week. While she was planning, she was going
Connect. I'm helping you all connect. You'll hear me say that a lot now. That will be my new catchphrase after this. Right, so we're around here now. So we're going to go up again. So squeeze and pull down. There goes another little one. Now we're speeding up now. Okay, we're off. We're on a roll now. And breathe. Right, okay, so squeeze, pull. It's all right once you've set the pattern up. I'm all right. It's just when there's lines flying everywhere, you think, what is going on? Okay. You laughing at me, Kelly? Hey? Now, we're going to go down this time, so squeeze and pull up. Pull up and squeeze, pull up. Pull up like that. So there we go. We're getting a very random looking pattern here.
Donna goes, your catchphrase is, there you go.
There you go.
Because you always go, there we go.
There you go. Actually, another one of mine is okay. I say that quite a lot. Connect is my big one for Royal Icing. You're going to hear that one a lot, I tell you. Connect! You're definitely going to hear that one an awful lot. Right, where have I got to? And, oh yeah, I'm here now. Right, I got that round the right way. No, I'm going this way with this one. So squeeze, pull down. Okay, right, now we do a nice flower here. So make this one a little bit bigger. Just push out some more icing. You can get the same benefit. You can get much bigger icing or bigger flowers. Just push harder on the nozzle, just get a bigger flower. I'm going to stick that in the middle there. Right, okay, let's put in, where are we? Let's put in, we're going to switch nozzles. We're going to go to my 1.5 and we're going to just add in the lines and then it might make a bit more sense. Okay, so let's head over this side and we're going to wait for it to come through. There we are. So that's going to go up to there. And this is going to come down to there. There's a little one there. And then this comes down here. So we're going to connect. There you go. There's the phrase. Come down there. And then we're coming around this side here. Okay, so you can see it's starting to build. I see a horse. There we go. It's coming. Give it time. There you go. Right, now we're going to finish this side and then we'll go back and then we will do the bottom half of it. So I'm going to just take my nozzle out again. It's easier to pipe the leaves first and then the lines because I tried to do it the other way around and all I did was knock all the lines. It drove me crazy. So I need to do all this side of it first.
Was it last week you did the piped roses on cocktail sticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week was rose cocktail piping. Yeah, we did rosebuds last week, didn't we? So this week we're doing pipe design straight onto the cake this week. Do another flower and then we'll do another one there, which I don't want that one as high, to be honest. Drop it a bit lower. Okay, now I've started to break this all down, we can start speeding this up. Okay, and then we're going to go this way, back this way. So these are kind of like little piped I guess leaves really for this. You can see it all coming together. Think Bridgerton, everyone, come on. All right, let's unscrew my nozzle again. I'll switch it back over to 1.5. So I'm just taking it off the adapter there and just putting it back into place. So back to 1.5 and then we're going to come round here like so, and then round the corner here. Actually, I forgot to do those bits there. Let me just put those in. Hope I don't knock them off. So when you do piping like this, putting a pattern onto a cake is perfectly allowed. You can do that. You know, often a lot of the cakes are all marked out. They're not just, you know, somebody piping freehand like this. I couldn't do a freehand pattern like this. I'd need to put it on the cake. So that's completely allowed. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's how we're getting on so far. We've got more to come underneath. What we're going to do now is just go round and repeat that pattern on those 4, and then we can come back round and do that one. So we're going to move on down here.
Would it be easier for a beginner to do the lines first?
No, don't do the lines first, because I tried to do the lines first earlier today, and all I did was knock them off when I then went to do the bits around the outside edge. So definitely don't do the lines first, okay?
You've got the pencil line.
The pencil line is fine, yeah, but not the piping lines.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the pencil line is to guide you, so I guess when you're just doing the leaf bit, yeah.
I'll put another flower in there. Right, now we're going to start speeding up. Okay, as long as I don't start making loads of mistakes, and then I might slow down again. Okay, this is going to look fab when it's done. Put another one in there. So squeeze and pull. So we're just making little kind of like teardrops, I suppose. And then we'll do our little leaves there. So yeah, if you are doing this, I would say to anyone who's doing royal icing of any description, mark it on your cake. Again, it's going to look lovely. 100% mark it on your cake. It'd be really difficult to do it without it. So yeah, definitely. Right, I'm whizzing along now.
How can I stop my shaky hand when piping? I can answer that.
Go on then, Kelly.
Don't overfill your bag. I'm the queen of overfilling my bag, and this week I was piping, and Mum was like, "Oh my gosh, your hand is shaking so much."
I know, and it's because you put too much icing
Try
in the
not
bag.
to put too much in it.
So Kelly recommends don't put too much icing in your bag. I recommend getting your consistency right. That'll help you. I also recommend not doing it live, because it's not going to help your nerves either. And take your time, and also put your wrists down, okay? So you don't need to have them floating around in the air. My wrist is actually on my turntable, so you just don't need to be hovering around in midair like this. You keep your wrists down, and then you'll be absolutely fine. So I've just got to see where I'm going with this. So I'm now starting to do my flowers. There we go. I'll just turn it around a little bit so you can see. Now this is the bit I got in a muddle with last time, so let's make sure I get this around the right way this time. That way. So it goes down. Oops. Take that off. Now, one of the reasons I've said to some of my royal icers, I want you to ice me some dummies, okay? And somebody said to me, I said I want you to do it in a pastel colour, and someone asked me if they could do it in a strong colour because they like strong colours, and I don't disagree with you. I like strong colours too. However, we are going to be piping on our course in lots of white, and the one thing you can do with white, if you do it on a pastel colour, is you can take it off and it doesn't look too bad. So if you want to have a practice on a cake and you want to be able to see it, I would recommend you do it on a pale colour. So this is a pastel pink colour. Where have we got to this? And rather than doing it on, say, something like black or red, when then if you go to wipe off white royal icing, you've then ended up with it absolutely all over the place. And
could you turn the table when you pipe so people can see better? They just want to see how it moves.
I will try. As I say, it is really tricky. There we go. Right, that's about spot. Can we see at that point?
I don't know, I'm 10 seconds behind.
Okay. Have a look for me in a second. I'll do another one there. Little flower. And then I've got to get this round the right way because it annoys me if I get it round the wrong way.
Yeah, we can see.
You can see it okay?
Yeah.
I'm sat at a very silly angle. I'm glad there's not a camera looking at me, quite honestly, because you'd laugh. Okay, so that's taken us over as far as there. So now we're going to change nozzles again. There we go. And go back to 1.5 and fill the lines in. So I think once you've laid your pattern out, it doesn't actually take as long as you think. Let's make sure we've got some ice. Now, if your nozzle gets blocked, you can always take hold of a scriber and just pop that down there, because royal icing will set. All right, so all is not lost. So where have we got to? Right over here this time. So let's join it from there. Well, I got well carried away, didn't I? Made it all the way around there. And then we'll join that back up there. Then we're coming across here. And around there. We've missed a bit there. Right, let's go back. Right, remind me to go back to that bit in a minute.
Oh God, well, my memory's just as bad as yours.
Yeah, I know, you're not going to remember, are you?
No.
Okay, I need to go back before I go to the next section. Okay. Then over there. And where did I get to? Oh yeah, that. Across there. You do, the other thing I find with this as well, after a period of time, you do start to learn the pattern, and that's why you then start speeding up. So when you first start doing this, you will be, the first section will be painfully slow, and then you suddenly remember. Right, let's put my nozzle 2 back on. I'll go back here because I've missed a bit of my leaf pattern. Only spotted it when I put my lines in. There we go. So that's where we are so far. See, look, it's not taking very long. Bridgerton, eat your heart out. Here we go again. Right, okay, we're going round now to the next bit again. So let's do another flower there. So just little shell there. And then, which way are we going? Let me make sure I get this right. There's another one there. I'm going to do my flowers actually first, because then I know where they are. Another one there. Another one there. I was just going to say you get quite quick at this now, and then I'll make a mistake, you see, so I'm trying not to say anything. Let's go around a bit further. One up there. So I've learnt the pattern now, so that's good. And then one down the bottom. Then I'm going to quickly put those silver balls in before it all dries. Right, done. What height of cake do I have? What was it, Kelly? 4? I can't remember now. Did we say 4 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 inches. It's not huge. You could go mad with this if you wanted to. Make it bigger. Whoops! Now I'm chucking them all over the place. They've stuck to my hands. And put that one in there. So you can have a go at designing your own patterns on here. All you need is some greaseproof paper, and you just need some lined paper. And then you just literally draw it out into a section. So make a section of 4, which is what this is, and just draw it out, scribe it onto your cake, and off you go. This is very simple. It only involves 2 nozzles. Maybe 3 actually, because I've got number 1 here as well. I might use that later on. Let's put that one in there. And then, yeah, it's very simple. And so once you've learnt your pattern and you've worked it all out, you can start whizzing through this. We're getting a bit close to the screen, aren't we? There we go. Right, let's go back again. So we got to that point there. So we put our little flowers in that bit. And we're going to start with our little leaves. Coming out.
What colour sugar paste did you use? Did you mix it yourself?
Yes, it's pink. I used pink sugar paste using Colour Splash Pink. So nothing particularly strange or difficult to get hold of. I know Sugar and Crumbs have got Colour Splash, so if you want to nip on there, get some pink. It's a lovely pink colour, that one.
Would you recommend doing most iced cakes as fruit cakes or as sponge?
Well, I don't do many fruit cakes anymore, and I would do this as an order commercially. I would definitely go out of my way to sell this. I think this looks good on a wedding cake. It doesn't take as long as you think it takes. or let's put it another way. If you're going to make one of those massive ruffle things that go around cakes, I can tell you this is quicker. So you've got to weigh up your time, haven't you? You know, it's going to take you a long time to do a ruffle. You can't do it in advance. It'll probably take you less time to do a really lovely bit of piping like this. So I personally would try and just pipe it straight on. If you want to practice beforehand, you can always roll out a piece of sugar paste and you can just basically pipe it out. Sometimes I pipe on the greaseproof paper, which is actually what I did today before I came out, just to make sure I knew what I was doing. Yes, Kelly?
Is your upcoming Royal Icing course just for decorating cakes as you're doing tonight?
We're doing piping on cakes, yeah. Is that
But you're also doing cookies.
We're doing some cookies.
And just general skills.
General skills. So we're doing beginners piping. So you'll learn how to do your straight lines and your dots and your scrolls and all those things. There's 2 live classes, and then we're doing extension work, collars, roses. So it's a complete cover of Royal Icing, near enough done the whole lot.
Cookie flooding.
Cookie flooding. What we're not doing, I'll just make this clear, is we are not doing covering a cake with Royal Icing. That's the only thing we're not doing. So we're not going to get a cake and cover it in Royal Icing. Everything else we're going to do. I've been putting pictures up over the last few weeks of what we've been making for this course. I've done the hardest bit now, so that's all recorded and ready to go. So, and if anyone says, oh, I've never done it before, you'll be fine. So I'm just going to go back in here and film.
I feel like I should do it just to see how I get on.
Oh, Kelly, really? You're going to have a go, are you?
Maybe I regret saying that now. I think I'm alright at Royal Icing.
Your piping's fine. You can pipe, can't you? Okay, we'll come down here as well. You can always give it a go if you want to. Go across there like so. So whipping it up, I find is absolutely fine for piping anything like this. In fact, it does most jobs. The one job it doesn't do is collar work, but that's advanced Royal Icing, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. For general use, piping on cakes, whipping it up is fine. You can use that, no problem. Right, so we're on the last section now. Look, you see how quickly that went? We've whizzed round it much quicker than one of those 3-hour ruffle specials. You can tell I don't like doing those. I dread it. Oh no, it's a ruffle on a cake. Ugh, it's going to take ages. Where have we got to there? I'd much rather do this any day.
Oh gosh, everyone's saying, do it with us.
Oh,
you can do it, Kelly. Oh no! No, I'm not going to be able to get out with it.
You may regret saying that. And the thing is, Kelly, you'll be on that Facebook page and they'll be checking to make sure you've done it, you see. You've seen that cake over there, that extension work cake. You'll be fine. Okay, brush embroidery as well, that's another thing we're doing on there, really popular in weddings, hugely popular wedding cakes, still see it even to this day, even though we haven't got many weddings going on at the moment, but it is really, really popular.
Does the whipping it up set hard quickly?
It does set hard. If I touch this now, it's near enough dry. Because it's got albumin powder in it, yes, it does set quite hard. The other thing with whipping it up as well, it does tend to dry a slightly yellowy colour. That's okay, we're not too worried about that. It's only if you want a pure white colour that you probably need to switch over to something like Merry White, but I'm quite happy with this.
When you decorate with Royal Icing, how far in advance can you decorate it as it goes rock hard and does it go rock hard when you bite into it?
Okay, so if you're going to put Royal Icing, Royal Ice decorations like what we're doing, you don't need to worry about adding anything like glycerin or anything else like that. If you're going to cover a cake, so if you're going to put the whole covering as Royal Icing, you're better off putting in a teaspoon of glycerin to stop it setting, as you say, like concrete, because that's no fun for anyone. So yeah, that's what I would say with that. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. see that. Okay, one more flower, missed a flower there. So this is the last section of this, and then we've completed that part. See, it doesn't take that long. Let's come down this side, down the other side. Oh, I love piping. It was one of the very first things I ever did was piping, and I've got a picture of a run out that I did, which is where it's like a freestanding. I made a rabbit, actually, of all things, out of Royal Icing, and I managed to get it off the tracing paper, and I was so impressed with myself. I took a photo of it. I've still got that picture, Kelly. Honestly, I was only about 12. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I'd done that. It's magic. Because I didn't have YouTube then, all these amazing lives. There was, oh no, I'm sounding like I'm old now, which of course I am. I just had books and nothing else. So that's what I did.
What can I use as if I can't use whipping it up for piping?
You can use Merry White, which is an egg powder. You can use albumin powder. Merry White you can get in the supermarket. Dr. Oetker do an egg white powder. You can mix that with water and icing sugar. That works okay. And you can also use, say, Merry White. You can buy that in the supermarkets. They've all got recipes on them. You can buy pre-made royal icing, but I can't stand it. I would prefer to make my own. Because it's so easy and the consistency is brilliant, so I would make my own. Right, let's switch back to nozzle 1.5. Yeah, it's a Mary Ford book. Somebody's going to have spotted this. Yeah, the only premix, and I did mention this to my Royal Icing group the other day, that I've got any experience with is whipping it up. I haven't used any other premixes. I've always made my Royal Icing from scratch, and when I was talking to Carol about doing Royal Icing this year, she said, oh, whipping it up, we'll make Royal Icing. I said, okay, brilliant, send some over and I'll trial it out. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been trialing it all out for you all so we can find out what it does. So this is whipping it up.
How far in advance could this be done without glycerin and then with glycerin?
The life of your cake will be, if it's a sponge cake, will be longer than the life of the, will be shorter than the life of the Royal Icing. So your cake will go off before you have to worry about any of the decorations going off, yeah? Mm-hmm. If it's a sponge cake. Oops, drop that one. Right. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Right, over we go. So we're nearly at the end of this pattern. For this bit anyway, and then we'll spin it around so you can have a little look, and then we're going to continue. So we're not there yet. Okay, so that's where we've got to at the moment, and actually while I'm spinning it, I'm just going to run my eye over it to see if I've missed anything. I think we're okay. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. All right, that's where we've got to. Okay, right, let's go to the next bit. So the next bit we're going to do with nozzle 1.5. And we're going to pipe beads that go across here like that. So we're going to start, where are we? We'll start at the beginning of a section, then we won't get in a muddle. So all we're going to do is squeeze out some icing, and we're going to make a beaded rope, 1.5. When you look at this little nozzle, it's so tiny and you think, really? But actually it makes all the difference because it's so pretty and small. So I've marked all this out, so I know where I'm going. She says, and then immediately makes a mistake. Let's take that off. Right. So I'm hoping that some of you might have a go at designing your own little side patterns. Just make some simple shapes. Okay. Bit like, have a look at, anyone got any lace mats? Have a look at those, see what sort of patterns you can get on there. See if you can see something on there that would work, that would transfer onto here. That might work really well. Okay, so there we go. That's another part of the section. Practice makes perfect, someone's just said.
It was me.
Was it you, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Silver spoon make royal icing mix. Do you know if that's okay?
I don't use any pre-mixes, so I would be loath to say to you, yes, absolutely, rush out and buy it. The only one I've used is whipping it up, so I cannot advise you on that. I've used whipping it up because I've done it for Carol, and then the only other way I've ever made it has been with Merry White and albumin powder, and I know how both of those work, so I would be wrong to say I know. Somebody else might know who's used it on here, maybe.
Someone says, I can imagine you decorating a Fabergé egg.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I've been to Fabergé.
She has. You've been to Fabergé, haven't you, Kelly?
Yeah.
That sounds good. You didn't bring me an
If
egg.
you go to Fabergé, they've hardly got any eggs in there.
You didn't bring me any back.
I know.
That's
I
what
wanted to. I asked Dad, and he said, no, don't do it. In Russia, Fabergé eggs, they're about, how much here? £300, £400? About 50 quid.
Oh, you should have bought me one back, Kelly, to go back again.
This looks like henna. I thought that.
Who said that?
Jackie says, what about henna?
Yes.
This looks exactly like henna.
Now, if you go and look online and put onto Google henna patterns, whoa, there's some lovely ones out there. Now, they're quite complicated, so that's the only thing. Just bear in mind that they can be quite complicated to do. So try and strip the design back a little bit and give yourself chance. But henna has some very, very nice inspiration on there, definitely. And you could do this, you don't have to do it in white, you can do it in any colour.
You could do it in white and then paint over the top gold.
You could. There you go, Kelly's full of ideas tonight, so you could do that. If you want to paint in gold. I nearly did a Miranda moment then and sang Spandau Ballet.
Gold,
Gosh,
gold.
don't say that, because right, there we go. See, we're whizzing round this and no ruffle in sight. So this is a dummy cake. This isn't a real cake because I'd iced this about a week ago actually. And I was going to use it for last week's live, and then I got distracted and I ended up using a real cake, which I then gave away to Stoke Mandeville Hospital. But this week I'm just going to do I'm using the one I did the week before, so that's why we've got this one. There we go. Okay, so we're coming round to the end of this pattern now. See how quick this is. Once you get going, it's very quick. And look how much icing I've got left in my bag. Loads. So I do actually need some icing for tomorrow.
Can I add silver lustre dust to royal icing?
I don't think you would add it in. You paint over the top of it, but I don't think if you add it in, I think it will. I've never done it, but I personally would do the royal icing and then paint it with the silver lustre afterwards. Mix it in with some cocoa butter or some alcohol, clear alcohol like vodka or gin or something along those lines. So that's there. Right, we're not quite finished yet. We're getting there, but we're not quite. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I've marked some lines down the bottom. You can see these other points here. So we're going to just take that and just pipe a point there. Did I do it on every one? Yes, I did. Okay.
How strong is the flavour in whipping it up? I only asked because some of the flavours may be a bit strong.
I think from what I've had a discussion with Carol about the flavouring of whipping it up, and she tells me that it's mainly quite strong so that you can, oh, I don't want that one, so I'm getting confused now. So that when you bake with it, because if you bake with flavoured things, it takes 50% of the flavour away. So Carol does a lot of her products nice and strong so that you still get a lovely flavour when you've baked with them. If you don't like it as strong as that, you can always, I'd say, water it down. It's not watering it down, is it? You add in 50% of another icing sugar, but you can't do that with whipping it up and royal icing because it will affect it.
Yeah. But also, you're not actually using a lot of it.
Yeah,
if you're taking a slice of cake from that, how much royal icing is actually on there?
Yeah,
it's not really that much.
Yeah, it's not enough to cause any problems. No, not at all. can always adjust it. All right, there we go. So we're just doing some a set of 3 of these little lines at the bottom here. Just got to make sure I don't do the other 2 because I nearly did. Right, we're nearly there. Yeah, almost. Right. Okay, got to that point now. There we go. And now we're going to go down. So make sure I get this right. Yes. Okay, so straight lines down. I am sat at an angle, so if this goes off a bit funny, it's because I'm trying to make sure you can see. That's my excuse. And then we've got another one coming out of there. You can vary the height of these if you want to. You don't have to have them the same. So if you want to make them different lengths, then you can do that. Still piping with nozzle 1.5 at the moment. Are they sold on this design now?
Yes.
They're gone quiet. Definitely doing Bridgerton now, aren't we? Okay. So everything about Royal Icing is lovely and fine. That's the key difference between that and buttercream. It's making sure everything is as fine as possible.
Everyone's now saying it's beautiful.
Ah, you see, now you can see it. When you first start, you think, what is she doing? And then suddenly it all changes.
That's why we love watching you.
Is that right?
Just love watching you, that's why. Tracey.
Who's written that? You?
Maeve. No! I get the live version.
Kelly's sat here getting the live. Sometimes when it's going really well, she's jumping up, standing next to me to have a good old look, aren't you? Because you can't wait the 10
but
seconds.
I always get, yeah, because there's a 10-second delay, but I always get a bit scared just in case the camera is on me and I just come into frame.
You won't come into frame. You're right, Kelly, at the moment. Okay. I like the idea of this. Yeah. So again, you can pipe it in. You could pipe the whole thing and leave it to dry a couple of hours, then come back. And if you want to, you can just run a gold paint over it if you want to. Paint the whole thing gold.
I feel like I've done that at some point. You've gone, Kelly, sit here.
Yeah, I definitely
some
have.
Alcohol,
and do it.
Paint that.
I'm sure I have. Kelly is a brilliant painter. You are a brilliant painter, Kelly. So I'm sure I definitely will have done that.
Everyone's saying it's like a Fabergé egg.
Yeah.
I'm sensing Easter.
Easter egg.
Easter Fabergé Royal Icing.
Easter Fabergé.
That's what I'm expecting. After the Royal Icing course, I'm expecting everyone to make Fabergé Easter eggs.
We've got to go out and buy an Easter egg, and we've got to pipe on it, Kelly. Is that what we're going to do? Is it? That's okay. You're going to get some very elaborate Easter eggs this year. Have I made it back? There we go.
You're so
right.
calm doing these decorations.
I could be going. Well, I'm. Yeah. You can't see my face, but I'm telling you, it's fine. Right, okay, so we've made it all the way round. Now we're going to have to do something about the bottom. So let's just spin it round so you can see it. Because the bottom at the moment, we're going to... Now what we don't want to do is come along now with a great big chunky nozzle and do something not so good. So what we'll do is we'll take nozzle number 2. So we'll go back a bit, make sure it's not blocked, which it is. Royal Icing, it sets. It's a pain. Right. Okay, we could put a ribbon around the bottom, but we're not going to do that. We're going to pipe a beaded pattern. I got a bit of a gap here where I haven't quite set it properly, but that's okay. I'll just pipe it in there. So we'll just go round and have a go at piping some beads and covering up all my joins.
Nikki says a 50th birthday Easter egg.
Now,
Tracey is turning 50 on Thursday.
Oh, well, I've got to actually say thank you so much to 2 people who sent me some flowers today. I couldn't believe it. And the funniest thing was I was on a live at the time, and the person who sent me the flowers, and she knows who she is, heard me answer the door to the postman. And I said to my postman, oh, it's my birthday this week. And he said, I said, oh, lots coming in. He goes, how old are you going to be? 50. I said, how rude, I'm going to be 40. And he looked quite shocked, which is not true because I'm going to be 50, but I thought I would pull his leg. Anyway, so yes, thank you very
The
much.
flowers are lovely. Our kitchen is just...
Oh, it looks amazing. I'm so happy.
It's Kathy and who?
Serena.
Serena.
So lovely. Thank you.
They
Thank
are
you.
very
Thank you.
nice.
I was quite shocked actually. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Well, they heard me. One of them was on the live when I was doing it at the time.
Kathy's online now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So lovely.
It cushions the blow.
Yeah, it cushions.
Turning the big 5-0.
It'll be fine. So I'm not here on Thursday. If anybody is tuning in on Thursday morning at
But
11:30.
feel free to leave as many
Yes, thank
happy
you.
birthday wishes for Mum.
Thank you, Kelly. You can stop now. So yeah, I won't be live on Thursday morning this week because it's my birthday and I won't be here. But I will be back on Tuesday at 6:30 next week. So I will be back next week. So when you do this bit at the bottom here, so I'm using number 2 nozzle to kind of infill my join here. There we go. Serena, you have to celebrate. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate, I think. I'll probably cry at least twice.
Yeah.
I cried on my 40th, so I probably will cry on my 50th. Oh dear. Well, that's because you'd made me a homemade present, Kelly. So this is 10 years ago. So you would have been 10 years old and you presented me with this lovely little album of all these cut out photos and little comments. And I just cried. It was so lovely.
I was 10.
I know. It was so lovely. Anyway, I'm putty in their hands, really, aren't I? So you notice the icing. I'm pressing out quite a lot.
Everyone's sending happy birthday
Oh.
messages.
Thank you. Oh dear. I haven't looked up at the comments. I'm busy typing at the moment, but yes, thank you. It's a lockdown, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's going to be all right. So my icing is going quite a bit under my cake, which is quite helpful actually, because it's kind of then holding it in place for me. So I'm just letting that go under the cake. And then just back round at the end there. Someone said it's only a number. Yeah, but I don't like that number. Oh, look at that.
Oh, everyone say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
50 is the new 40.
Who said that?
Maureen.
Oh, Maureen, I agree.
And someone else, but I think before, said 50 is the new 30. I think you might be going a bit far there, because that means Mum would be 10 years older than me.
I can do that.
Can't wait for my... I'm turning 21 this year, everyone, so
Yeah.
I can't wait for my birthday messages.
There's a little plug in there for Kelly. Right, okay, so I've made it all around the bottom here, but we're going to embellish this further. Of course we are, because this is Royal Icing. We have to do this. So I've switched back to nozzle 1.5, and then we're just going to go in above every other one on this. Can you still see? Yes, just about. Like so. Royal Icing is just layer upon layer of loveliness.
There's never too much.
There's never too much, but I've lost track of what I'm doing now. There we go.
My first exposure to Royal Icing was gingerbread houses with Mum.
Oh, I thought you was reading someone else's comments then. Oh no, don't
this
mention.
is... Even on gingerbread houses, Mum still manages to do all of this.
I love gingerbread houses. They're one of my favourite things to do. I absolutely love them. I think they're brilliant. I do like gingerbread houses. It's so much fun. Not when they're collapsing, obviously. That's not so much fun, but I went a bit mad round here. I thought there's something that wasn't making sense. Where did I go wrong? I went wrong about here somewhere, so I've just got to take that off because it's annoying me.
Everyone say happy birthday. There's loads of happy birthday
Happy
messages.
birthday.
Hope you'll spoil. Loads of flowers, loads of balloons, loads of little cakes.
Well, I'll tell you them. Apparently, well, I've said to you two, there better be a birthday cake, but it won't be from you two. It will be somebody else will be making it. One of my neighbours, I suspect. and I will take a photo of it and I'll put it on the page so you can all have a look. It's that'll be a bit of fun. Yeah, I've got to have a birthday cake. I mean, what is that all about? And I'm not making it.
I feel like we should be singing happy birthday today to your mum in advance.
If this had sound, could you imagine? That'd be great, wouldn't it? I should make you do a solo, Kelly.
Oh no. God, everyone would log off. If I start singing happy birthday, everyone's gone.
We should have Charlotte down here, because Charlotte's the singer, isn't she? Not me and you.
I'm tone deaf.
You're not tone deaf.
But I can paint.
You can paint brilliantly. Right, I'm nearly there. I can see the other side coming. Who's just said my heart out? What was that one there? What's Deborah written? I sobbed my heart out on my 60th, did she put?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you. Yeah. Well, I cried on my 40th, so I'm sure something will get me at some point. It's fine. It's not quite what I expected, but there we go. I won't be the only one. So, I'll get round to doing some things at some point. Alright, got one more round this cake after that, and then we're done.
Aww. I was telling my mum about your royal icing and said I'm going to do one for her 98th birthday instead of fondant flowers, and she said lovely. My gran used to make and decorate wedding cakes with royal icing back in the day.
Oh, fabulous. I mean, it is. It's a classic. It's such a nice thing to do. It really is. And oh, it's just so lovely. If you go and put in royal ice wedding cakes, whoa, there's some amazing stuff on there.
Now, Mum always told me I'm getting my wedding cake for free. So am I really going to go to town on the royal icing aspect?
Oh my God.
Yes.
You need to find a man first, Kenny.
No.
Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge later.
Can you pay for your royal icing courses in instalments?
Yes, you can. If you wish to join the Royal Icing course and you want to pay in instalments, we do 2 or 3 month instalments, which means that you're paying either £20 a month for 3 months or £30 for 2 months. So if you want to do that, all you need to do is just drop me an email at the end and I'll sort that out for you. I'll send you a couple of invoices and then off you go. And then as soon as you've paid for your first one, we'll let you into the course. Right, one more and then we're done. So we're just going to go to nozzle number 1, which is our smallest nozzle. So we've used 3 different sizes tonight: nozzle 1, nozzle 1.5 and nozzle 2. I'm covered in royal icing. That's not very helpful, is it? Okay, right. So this is the tiny little one, which I don't know if will show up on camera. It may or may not. It probably is just. Probably need to sit quite close to the TV screen now to see this because it is tiny. But it just adds to it. It just takes your eye away from the board. There we go. See, I need the turntable now. I didn't need it earlier. It was being a pain, not moving. Okay.
Oh wow. I've still got a top tier of my wedding cake my granddad made me.
Oh my goodness.
44 years ago. It's a bit yellow.
Oh, I bet it is. I put mine in the freezer. My top tier, and I kept it for about 4 years, and I did use it. But
For what?
Charlotte's christening.
What?
That's what you do. Do you not know that? Oh, it's not funny.
What?
That's what you do. You can suppose, well, that's what you used to do, and not so much tradition these days, but yeah, you used to have the top tier as a fruit cake and then you would keep it and use it as a christening cake. Why is that so funny? We didn't do it for you because we'd already eaten it.
That's so weird.
Oh, Kelly, honestly. Right, round we go. So if you just go to my website, someone's just saying what's yeah, Kelly's just going to put the website up for you so you can see it. Just go there and just let me know. So we're starting next week.
February the 3rd, everyone.
Which is a Wednesday, and there's a live that night, and all we're going to do on that live is we're going to just do some beginners piping together, so you can either watch it or you can join in. We don't have to watch it, it's not compulsory, it's optional. So if you want to join me, you're very welcome. If you don't want to join me, that's no problem. You're going to have it anyway as a lesson, so I'm just basically doing a live lesson with you.
Do you have this on YouTube?
I do have a YouTube channel, and what I normally do when I finish my lives, usually a day or so later, I usually pop them on there. So if you have, if you go to YouTube and put in Tracey Mann cakes, you'll find it on there. You'll see all the ones I've done from the last couple of weeks are up there. Some of the other Royal Iced ones, and chocolate and painting and everything under the sun's on there. So I just add them every week. I probably won't get around to it this week. It'll be next week. We're still very busy with sorting out the Royal Icing course at the moment. Getting everybody sorted. Finishing the course material. Turning 50 in the middle of it. That sort of thing. Right. Okay, we're coming up to the end.
Everyone's laughing about how I didn't know about...
Well, I'm not surprised. I can't believe I didn't tell you that, honestly.
That's what you get being the second child.
You don't get told
Neglect.
anything. Okay, don't be ridiculous. Honestly, what you like. Okay. Done. There we go.
Yay!
Oh my goodness me. Right, let's turn this around so you can have a little look.
There's that ray of hope when you just get round and you see the other half.
I
of
know,
the cake.
exactly. You can see there. Where's that topper I put out earlier? I've moved it. No, not that one, the white one. I had it earlier. Is it in the box? Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I put the other one around somewhere. There it is. Right, okay. So let's give it a topper. And then what I'll do is I'll just pick it up so you can see it, because you can never see it on this camera because it's too short. So I will pick it up and then you can have a little look. So I'll just leave it on camera there for a few more seconds so you can have a good look at it. So there you go, spin it around. So I've been live 1 hour and 15 minutes. I have made whipping it up in that time. Yes, I had the pattern on the cake, but I have actually piped it in that time easily. So I'd say it's probably taken me 45 minutes to do the whole pipe. There we go. So it isn't that time consuming. So anyone who uses the argument, oh, it takes forever, I tell you, it's quicker than doing a big ruffle. Much quicker. Much, much quicker. Right, okay. Let me come back onto screen. Right, here I am. I'm still here. Let's pick it up. So I've got my Bridgerton topper on. There we go. Right. Doo-doo. Let's move that in a bit further. So I've got a nice silk flower on top because I do like these on top of these cakes. It's my kind of thing. Let's turn it around a bit so we can get it around the right way. There we go. Like that. Woo. There you go. I'll hold that still for you. You don't need to see me. Okay. I'll come back on screen. There you go. So how about that? That for an elegant birthday cake, wedding cake. It's not that difficult. It's something you can sit and design. So if you're thinking of designing it, just go back to the start of the video and have a look at how I did it. Something you could easily sit and do. It is pretty wowy, isn't it? And all it is lines and dots and nothing else. It's really straightforward and it's very, very pretty. So if you want to have a go, as I say, you're very welcome to join me on Royal Icing if you fancy having a go at Royal Icing. I'll put my website up quickly so you can see it there. So if you've got any questions about Royal Icing or you fancy having a go, then you're very welcome. More than happy for you to join us. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'm reading some of these comments coming up now. I'm glad you like it. It is really, really pretty. So if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, I will take a picture of the cake and I will put it on Instagram for you to see up close, and I will put the video on YouTube as well as being on here as well. So see, that went really quickly tonight, didn't it? We whizzed through that tonight. I don't quite know how we've done it, but we have. We've got through it very, very quickly. So that is the cake. Thank you very much for joining me on Tuesday evenings. Thank you very much for all the comments coming up with regards to the cake and my birthday. I'm reading all of this. Yeah, lovely. Thank you. I'm very grateful for you tuning in and watching. So if you do need any further information on this, do pop over to the website and have a look. We're in full Royal Icing mode at the moment. I'm teaching painting as well, and I keep saying, and now pick up nozzle number 2, when I actually mean paintbrush number 2. So I have been getting in a bit of a muddle there. So there we go. Right. Have a lovely evening and take care. And I will be back again next Tuesday at 6:30. And I will pop this onto my YouTube channel so you can see that. Say bye, Kelly.
Bye.
Thank Kelly very much for all your lovely comments tonight. And I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.
Bye.